Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now the internet and particularly social media is absolutely chock full of challenges, and from my experience, although some of these may be for a good cause, none of them are actually particularly challenging. You know, if we look at the ice bucket challenge, there really is nothing difficult about pouring a bucket of water over your head. The no makeup selfie challenge, well, I mean surely that takes less effort than taking a selfie with makeup on. There's a chubby bunny challenge where you stuff a load of marshmallows into your mouth, or a Thursday evening as I call it. And there's also some really stupid ones, such as the Listerine challenge where you neck a bottle of Listerine. It's inspired. I don't know how people come up with these things. But there was one challenge I spotted probably about 6 months ago, which was raised on one of the gambling forums, which actually is both a challenge and, I believe, retrospectively, incredibly worthwhile. So what is this challenge? Well, the challenge is to quit gambling for 90 days. Now I go on in my videos, and I tend to go on, as we know, about permanent abstinence, about giving up gambling, effectively for the rest of your life. But I totally understand, because I've been there and I've done it, and to an extent I'm still there, that the prospect of giving up something that is probably quite a significant part of your life for the rest of your life is so daunting. It almost seems unmanageable. It seems pie in the sky. It doesn't really feel like something you can achieve, and that's very much likely to put people off. And I'm saying this at the end of January, or coming towards the end of January, where a lot of people, whether it be gambling or something else, have made resolutions on the 1st of this month to say, I'm not going to do this anymore, or I'm going to cut back on this, or I'm going to start going to the gym, or whatever you've done, whatever your resolution you've made. By this time in January, there is a fair chance that these resolutions have fallen by the wayside. What I would say with that, just going off topic ever so slightly, is if, for example, you said as your New Year's resolution at the beginning of this month that you were going to quit gambling, you were going to stop gambling this year because it was doing you harm mentally, and financially, it's causing harm to your relationships, all the things that we talk about. If you had decided at the beginning of this month that you were going to quit gambling, but you've fallen off the wagon, so to speak, and you've gambled, then I'll say this: don't worry about it. Just get back on that horse and keep going. A New Year's resolution is setting an arbitrary timescale, an arbitrary start point for a much bigger issue. If you made a New Year's resolution to quit gambling, then there's a problem with your gambling. You know that in some way, shape or form, even if it doesn't seem like a severe problem, it's something that your life is better without. So don't go, as most people do with New Year's resolutions, sometimes on the 2nd of January, but sometimes they last most of January. Shrug your shoulders and go, oh, well, I failed. So many people make a joke of resolutions, particularly when it comes to alcohol. The amount of people I know who say, oh, I'm not going to drink either in January, or I'm going to give up drinking for New Year. And, within a week, they're making a joke about their failure on social media. Don't make a joke about it. Don't even talk about the fact that you failed your New Year's resolution. Just start again. Just start again and maybe try something different. Try something additional to help you abstain from whatever it is you want to give up. So anyway, I've gone off topic, but that was New Year's resolutions. Going back to the challenge is purely to give up gambling for 90 days. Now it might be, and as I know a lot of people who watch my videos have already given up gambling, in which case fantastic. This doesn't really apply to you, but do watch on, because I think actually the psychology is quite interesting. It takes 30 days to break a habit. So my habit, for example, when it came to gambling, was leaving work, going to the pub after work, having a couple of beers, and then gambling on the machines in the pub, or wandering over to the bookies, or having a go in there. Maybe going home after that, and starting playing online. But by and large, the pattern was that I would leave work and go and play machines in pubs or bookies. So within 30 days, you can break that cycle of behaviour. You can break that habit. Actually, benefits before even then. Within 14 days. 14 days is the average period to break a chemical addiction. So in the case of alcohol, this is fairly straightforward, but in gambling terms, 14 days is what it will take to break that dopamine addiction, break that chemical addiction. It's not a precise science. It can vary depending on, you know, how heavily you've been gambling. Like if you're drinking, how heavily you're drinking depends on the time it takes you to break away from the alcohol. But so after 14 days, you should notice things get easier. After 30 days, you should have broken your existing habits. So why 90 days? Well, because 90 days allows you to build new habits, allows you to do things outside of gambling. It allows a good insight, really, as to what your life would be like if you decided to give up gambling full time. But like I say, unlike my other videos, what I'm doing here is not saying you have to give up forever. I'm just saying take part in this challenge. Try 90 days. Because then after 90 days, you have a choice, don't you? After 90 days, you can continue your abstinence if you so wish. Or if you want to go back to gambling, then go back to gambling. That's it. You've completed the 90-day challenge. If after 90 days you feel like gambling's still for you, then go back and keep on gambling. Sounds really kind of counterintuitive, doesn't it? It really sounds, you know, contradictory to pretty much everything I say in my videos. And the reason I'm confident in this challenge, and it's not my idea, and I didn't do it. It's just something I heard about a long time ago, and I'm now looking back and thinking how beneficial it would have been to me. After 90 days, I think there's a good chance you won't want to go back. Your life won't be sorted, particularly if you have gambling debts and all the rest of it, and it's caused other problems in your life. You'll still be sorting through those. But 90 days is enough to break the habit, and it's enough to give you a good insight as to how much better your life could be without this horrible, you know, insidious addiction that's just willing to take every part of your life from you. So 90 days is a reasonable period of time, but it's not forever. So just think, oh, it's a break. It's a break from gambling, but you're still going to need to do things to make this break work. You know, willpower alone is going to struggle for a period of 90 days. So if you gamble online, most websites will allow you to self-exclude or take a cool-off period for up to 90 days. So set your cool-off periods for 90 days. You know, install GamStop for a set period of time. I think you can do that. It might be worth double checking, but I think you can set this blocking software for a set period of time. You know, hand over your finances. If you feel like you've got that much of a problem where you're not going to be able to moderate your finances, I couldn't, and I did exactly this. Hand over your finances to someone else for 90 days. But make it clear that's what you're doing, that you're doing a 90-day challenge. Because that way the end is always in sight. The end is never far away. And like I say, if you get to the end of that 90 days and you don't see sufficient improvements, you want to go back to your old life, to the way of gambling, that door is open for you. You know, you can do it. But make sure whatever you do, there are blocks in place for those 90 days to allow you to complete this challenge successfully. You know, like I say, this is only going to apply to some of you because I know a lot of you guys have, you know, given up already. You're already well into your 90 days, or a lot of people have absolutely smashed it. You know, there are people who follow my videos, you know, not just the people that I reference, like, you know, Katie Clark, Gambling Sucks, you know, Andy Margaret, of course, who's, what was he, 2009? I might be wrong, Andy, sorry. But yeah, there are people who've been, you know, who are making videos or commenting on my videos who are free of gambling for a much, much longer period of time than me. But I think if you can do 90 days, looking back, I'd already seen the benefits in my life. If you haven't seen it, watch my video about how things can get a little bit harder before they get easier, because that's so true of giving up gambling. Quitting gambling isn't an instant quick fix. It certainly won't make all the damage that gambling has done in your life disappear, but it will allow you to take stock and start repairing the damage you've done. But in the interim, what you'll have to deal with is the damage you've caused. You know, be that financial or whatever, you have to, you know, address it and pick up the pieces. But within 90, that's why I say 90 days, not 30, because 30 is what it takes to break the habit. But by 90 days, you'll be feeling a lot calmer. You'll probably be sleeping better. You'll be finding extra time in your life. And by the 90th day, you'll have found stuff to fill that time. You won't be just sitting there, you know, desperately wanting to gamble. You'll actually find other, more productive, more interesting things to, you know, to fill your time. And hopefully that'll involve your friends, your family, your loved ones, your partner, and all those people that maybe you've neglected, you know, to feed this horrible addiction. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this, guys. I'd love to see your comments. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I tried to get to 200 subscribers yesterday, didn't happen, but never mind, onwards and upwards. Thanks very much for watching the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers everyone.